Hello, friends. If you've been walking into rooms and forgetting why you're there, struggling to remember the names of people you've known for years, or feeling like your mind just isn't as sharp as it used to be, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes. Because there's a simple 60-second exercise that neuroscientists have observed can trigger immediate blood flow to your brain and start reversing memory decline faster than you ever thought possible. And the best part? You can do it right now, sitting exactly where you are. My name is Dr. Amanda Wells, and I'm a specialist in mental health and cognitive wellness for older adults. Welcome to the Dr. Amanda Wells channel. I've spent years studying how our brains change as we age, and I've seen thousands of people regain their mental clarity using science-backed methods that don't require expensive pills, complicated routines, or hours of effort. I'm here today because I genuinely care about helping you keep your mind sharp, your memories vivid, and your confidence strong, no matter what age you are. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, I'll walk you through the exact 60-second memory exercise that research shows can increase cognitive performance in just 4 to 8 weeks when done consistently. Then, we'll talk about 2 powerful supporting habits: mental stimulation throughout your day that compounds these benefits, and how sleep quality directly affects your ability to store and recall memories. At the end, I'll share my favorite brain-boosting smoothie recipe that combines ingredients proven to support neural health. This isn't magic. This is science meeting simplicity. Here's something that might surprise you. Studies have found that seniors who practice brief, focused cognitive exercises daily show up to 30% improvement in memory recall within 2 months. That's faster than most people think is possible. And the 60-second exercise we're about to explore activates multiple brain regions at once, creating new neural pathways that help you remember names, dates, and details more easily. Now, before we dive in, I'd love to know who I'm talking to today. Drop a comment below with your name, your age, and what city or country you're watching from. And if this video is already resonating with you, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our weekly brain health tips. Let's get started. All right, let's talk about the 60-second memory exercise that can change everything for you. I call it the Sensory Snapshot Technique, and it's beautifully simple. Here's how it works. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Look around the room you're in right now and choose 5 objects. Really look at them. Notice their colors, their textures, their positions. Now close your eyes and try to describe each object in detail, out loud or in your mind. What color was that lamp? What shape was the picture frame? Where exactly was the book sitting? Open your eyes and check. Did you get them all right? That's it. That's the entire exercise. But here's the magic. When you force your brain to observe, store, and recall information this quickly, you're essentially giving your hippocampus, the memory center of your brain, a targeted workout. And just like a muscle, the more you work it, the stronger it gets. Now, why does this simple exercise work so powerfully? When you intentionally focus on details and then immediately try to recall them, you're activating something called active encoding. This is the process where your brain takes information from short-term memory and begins transferring it to long-term storage. Most people go through their day on autopilot, never really paying attention to details, which is why they can't remember where they put their keys or what someone told them 5 minutes ago. But when you practice this deliberate observation and recall, you're training your brain to pay attention again. You're also increasing blood flow to your prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, the exact regions responsible for memory formation and retrieval. Neuroscientists have observed that repetitive, focused cognitive tasks like this one create new neural connections, essentially rewiring your brain to be more efficient at remembering. So when should you do this exercise and how often? I recommend doing it twice a day. Once in the morning, right after you wake up, and once in the evening before bed. Morning practice wakes up your cognitive functions and sets a sharp tone for your day. Evening practice helps consolidate the memories you formed throughout the day while you sleep. You can do it anywhere. In your living room, your kitchen, even outside on your porch. The key is consistency. Your brain craves patterns, and when you give it this daily 60-second challenge, it starts anticipating it, preparing for it, and getting better at it. You can also make it progressively harder as you improve. Start with 5 objects, then move to 7, then 10. Or try closing your eyes for 2 minutes instead of checking immediately. The beauty of this exercise is that it grows with you. What can you realistically expect in the first 4 to 8 weeks? In the first week, you might feel like you're struggling. You might forget 2 or 3 objects out of 5. That's completely normal. Your brain is dusting off pathways it hasn't used in a while. By week 2, you'll likely notice you're getting 4 out of 5 consistently. By week 4, most people report that they're not just remembering objects better during the exercise, but they're also noticing improvements in daily life. They remember names more easily, they don't lose their train of thought mid-conversation, and they feel mentally sharper overall. By week 8, if you've been consistent, this enhanced attention to detail becomes automatic. You'll find yourself naturally observing and remembering things without even trying. Research suggests that cognitive exercises practiced daily for 2 months can lead to measurable improvements in memory tests, and the benefits continue to compound the longer you stick with it. Now, let me share the most common mistakes people make with this exercise, because I don't want you to waste your time doing it wrong. Mistake number 1, rushing through it without really looking. If you're just glancing at objects and not truly observing them, you're not engaging your brain deeply enough. Spend those 60 seconds really studying the details. Mistake number 2, doing it inconsistently. Your brain needs repetition to build new pathways. Doing it once a week won't give you results. Twice a day, every day is the goal. Mistake number 3, getting frustrated and giving up too early. Remember, your brain is learning a new skill. It takes time. Be patient with yourself. And mistake number 4, doing it in the exact same spot with the exact same objects every single time. Your brain adapts and gets lazy. Change locations, use different objects, keep it fresh. Challenge yourself, and your memory will rise to meet that challenge. Now let's talk about the first supporting habit that will supercharge your 60-second memory exercise. Mental stimulation throughout your day. Think of your brain like a garden. The 60-second exercise is like watering it with focused attention, but mental stimulation throughout the day is the sunlight that helps everything grow stronger and more vibrant. When you challenge your brain with different activities, learn new things, and engage with novel experiences, you're creating an environment where memory thrives. The key word here is variety. Your brain doesn't want to do the same crossword puzzle every morning for 10 years. It wants novelty. It wants challenge. It wants to be surprised. When you give it that, you keep neural pathways firing. You prevent cognitive stagnation, and you build what scientists call cognitive reserve, which is essentially your brain's resilience against age-related decline. So what does effective daily mental stimulation look like? It's simpler than you think, and it doesn't require expensive brain training apps or complicated programs. Start with reading something new every day, but not just anything. Read material that makes you think, that introduces new concepts or perspectives. Maybe it's a book about history, a biography of someone fascinating, or even articles about topics you've never explored before. Then there are puzzles, but mix them up. Do a crossword on Monday, a Sudoku on Tuesday, a jigsaw puzzle on Wednesday. Your brain loves this variety because each type of puzzle activates different cognitive skills. Another powerful tool is learning something completely new. Maybe you've always wanted to learn a musical instrument, or try painting, or study a new language. When you learn something unfamiliar, your brain has to create entirely new neural networks, and that process keeps your memory sharp. Even something as simple as taking a different route when you go for a walk forces your brain to pay attention and map new spatial information. But here's something many people overlook. Social connection is one of the most powerful forms of mental stimulation. When you have deep, meaningful conversations with friends or family, when you debate ideas, tell stories, or teach someone something you know, your brain is working incredibly hard. You're retrieving memories, organizing thoughts, processing language, reading social cues, and empathizing, all at the same time. It's like a full-body workout for your mind. Seniors who maintain strong social connections and regularly engage in conversations show significantly slower rates of cognitive decline than those who are isolated. So pick up the phone and call an old friend. Join a book club or a community group. Volunteer somewhere. Play cards with neighbors. These interactions aren't just good for your heart, they're essential fuel for your memory. And when you combine them with your daily 60-second exercise, you're building a fortress of cognitive protection. Creating a sustainable cognitive enrichment routine doesn't have to be overwhelming. Here's what I recommend. Dedicate 30 minutes each day to intentional mental stimulation. Maybe 15 minutes of reading something new, 10 minutes of puzzles or brain games, and 5 minutes of learning something on YouTube or through an app. Schedule it just like you would a doctor's appointment. Make it non-negotiable. You could do it with your morning coffee or right after lunch. The important thing is consistency and variety. Rotate your activities throughout the week so your brain never gets bored. And remember, mental stimulation doesn't have to feel like work. If you enjoy gardening and you're learning about new plants, that counts. If you love cooking and you're trying new recipes, that's cognitive challenge. If you're watching documentaries about space or nature, you're feeding your brain. The goal is to stay curious, stay engaged, and never stop learning. When you do this alongside your 60-second memory exercise, you're not just preventing decline, you're actively building a sharper, more resilient mind. Let's talk about the second supporting habit that will amplify your memory gains: sleep quality. Here's something fascinating that most people don't realize. Your brain doesn't just rest when you sleep. It's actually working harder than you might think, sorting through everything you experience during the day, deciding what's important to keep and what can be discarded, and transferring those important memories from temporary storage into long-term vaults. This process is called memory consolidation, and it happens primarily during deep sleep and REM sleep. When you practice your 60-second memory exercise during the day, you're creating the raw material, the new neural connections. But it's during sleep that your brain cements those connections, making them permanent. Without quality sleep, it's like trying to save a document on your computer but never hitting the save button. All that work, all that mental effort, can be lost if your sleep isn't doing its job. So how do you optimize your sleep for maximum memory retention? It starts with your pre-sleep routine, the hour or two before you actually get into bed. This is sacred time for your brain. First, dim the lights in your home. Bright lights, especially blue light from phones, tablets, and televisions, signal to your brain that it's still daytime, suppressing melatonin production and making it harder to fall into deep sleep. Try reading a physical book instead of scrolling through your phone. Second, avoid heavy meals and caffeine at least 4 hours before bedtime. Your body can't focus on deep restorative sleep if it's busy digesting a big dinner. Third, create a calming ritual that signals to your brain that it's time to wind down. This could be gentle stretching, listening to soft music, practicing deep breathing, or even doing your evening 60-second memory exercise. The key is consistency. When you do the same calming activities every night, your brain learns the pattern and starts preparing for sleep automatically. Now, how much sleep do you actually need for optimal memory function? Research consistently shows that 7 to 8 hours is the sweet spot for most seniors. Less than 7 hours, and you start seeing measurable declines in cognitive performance, attention, and memory recall. More than 9 hours regularly can sometimes indicate underlying health issues or sleep quality problems, so it's worth discussing with your doctor if you're consistently sleeping much more than that. But it's not just about quantity, it's about quality. You need to cycle through all the sleep stages multiple times during the night, including deep slow-wave sleep and REM sleep. Deep sleep is when your brain clears out toxins that accumulate during the day, including proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. REM sleep is when your brain processes emotions and consolidates procedural memories. If you're waking up frequently, or if your sleep is fragmented, you're not getting enough of these crucial stages, and your memory pays the price. How do you know if your sleep is affecting your memory, and what can you adjust? Here are the signs to watch for. If you wake up feeling groggy and mentally foggy even after 7 or 8 hours, that's a red flag. If you're forgetting things more in the afternoon than in the morning, that suggests your brain didn't consolidate memories properly overnight. If you're waking up multiple times during the night, or if you snore loudly and wake up gasping, you might have sleep apnea, which dramatically affects memory and should be evaluated by a doctor. What can you do about it? Make your bedroom a sleep sanctuary. Keep it cool. Between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. Make it dark. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask. Make it quiet. Use earplugs or a white noise machine if needed. Invest in a comfortable mattress and pillows. And stick to a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Your brain loves routine, and when you honor your sleep, your memory will reward you with clarity, sharpness, and the ability to recall the things that matter most. Now I want to share something delicious with you that will support your brain health from the inside out. My Brain Power Smoothie. This isn't just any smoothie. Every single ingredient in this recipe has been chosen because of its scientifically observed benefits for memory, focus, and cognitive function. The star players here are blueberries, walnuts, spinach, avocado, and a touch of turmeric. Blueberries are packed with antioxidants called flavonoids that cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in areas responsible for learning and memory. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, which supports brain cell structure and communication. Spinach delivers folate and vitamin K, both linked to slower cognitive decline. Avocado provides healthy monounsaturated fats that improve blood flow to the brain. And turmeric contains curcumin, a compound that has been observed to reduce inflammation in brain tissue and may even stimulate the growth of new brain cells. When you combine all of these in one glass, you're giving your brain a nutrient-dense feast that supports the work you're doing with your 60-second memory exercise. Let me break down the science behind each ingredient so you understand exactly what's happening in your brain when you drink this. Blueberries contain anthocyanins, which are powerful antioxidants that protect your brain cells from oxidative stress and inflammation, two major contributors to age-related memory decline. Studies have shown that seniors who consume blueberries regularly perform better on memory tests than those who don't. Walnuts are unique because they're one of the few plant-based sources of DHA, a type of omega-3 fat that makes up a significant portion of your brain's structure. Your brain needs DHA to maintain the integrity of cell membranes and to facilitate communication between neurons. Spinach and other leafy greens are loaded with lutein, folate, and beta-carotene, all of which have been associated with slower rates of cognitive decline in older adults. Avocado improves blood circulation, and better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your brain cells. And turmeric, when combined with a pinch of black pepper, which enhances absorption, has anti-inflammatory properties that protect your hippocampus, the memory center we talked about earlier. This smoothie isn't a magic pill, but it's powerful nutritional support for everything else you're doing. Here's the exact recipe, and it's so simple you can make it in under 5 minutes. You'll need 1 cup of fresh or frozen blueberries, a small handful of fresh spinach, about 1 cup loosely packed, 1/4 of a ripe avocado, 3 or 4 walnut halves, 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk or any milk you prefer, 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, a tiny pinch of black pepper, and if you like it a bit sweeter, half a banana or a teaspoon of honey. Throw everything into a blender and blend on high for about 30 to 45 seconds until it's completely smooth and creamy. The texture should be thick but drinkable, not too watery. If it's too thick, add a splash more milk. If it's too thin, add a few more frozen blueberries or some ice cubes. The color will be a beautiful deep purple from the blueberries, and the taste is naturally sweet with a subtle earthiness from the spinach and a hint of warmth from the turmeric. You won't even taste the spinach, I promise. This recipe makes one large serving, perfect for one person. When's the best time to drink this brain power smoothie for maximum memory support? I recommend having it in the morning, ideally within an hour of waking up. Your brain has been fasting all night, and it's hungry for nutrients. Starting your day with this smoothie gives your brain the fuel it needs to perform at its best, especially when you're about to do your morning 60-second memory exercise. The healthy fats from the avocado and walnuts provide sustained energy without the crash you'd get from sugary breakfasts. The antioxidants get to work immediately, protecting your brain cells throughout the day. You could also have it as a mid-morning snack if you prefer a lighter breakfast, or even as an afternoon pick-me-up instead of reaching for coffee and cookies. Just try to have it at least 3 to 4 hours before bed, because the natural sugars might give you a little energy boost that could interfere with sleep. Make this smoothie part of your daily routine, just like your memory exercise and your mental stimulation activities, and you'll be giving your brain the nutritional foundation it needs to stay sharp, focused, and full of vitality. Before we wrap up today, I want to ask you for a huge favor. If this video has given you hope, clarity, or practical tools you can actually use, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly videos on brain health and cognitive wellness. Drop a comment below telling me which habit you're going to start with first: the 60-second sensory snapshot exercise, daily mental stimulation, optimizing your sleep, or making the brain power smoothie. And if you know someone, a friend, a family member, a neighbor, who's struggling with memory issues and could benefit from this information, please share this video with them. You might just change their life. Here's what I want you to remember. Your memory doesn't have to fade just because you're getting older. With one simple 60-second exercise done twice a day, combined with varied mental stimulation, quality sleep, and brain-nourishing nutrition, you can start seeing real improvements in 4 to 8 weeks. You have more control over your cognitive health than you've been led to believe. It's not about expensive treatments or complicated protocols. It's about consistency, intention, and giving your brain what it needs to thrive. You deserve to remember the names of the people you love, to walk into a room and know exactly why you're there, and to feel mentally sharp and confident every single day. Always remember, your mind is your greatest asset.